Motorsports Porsche with Brent Martini behind the wheel. Guy Hobbs, tell us how this guy inherited the pole.
Well, he inherited it because there was a mistake, a technical error by the team that had the pole. Car 119, that's Robert Julian and Jean-Francois Dumillon. They qualified the car fastest, but they didn't write down on a piece of paper, basically, who was going to qualify. So they've been sent back to the back of the pack, along with 10 other cars. Should be an interesting charge at the front. Robert Julian starts that car.
A simple error, but a very costly one for 11 cars in this field. Let's take a look at how they'll line up for the first race of the 2003 season. We already know that Martini and Kurt Wagner will start from the number 1. Two other notable mentions. A brand new team, Fox Hill Racing, will start from 3 with Andrew Davis behind the wheel and Michael Corley. Also best in the GS2 class, Brett Shanneman and Michael Bowman.
And starting 14th in the GS1 Corvette will be Larry Hong and Chris Hall, along with the pole sitter for SD1, Team Lexus car of Ian James and Troy Hansen.
Speaking of Team Lexus, their big competition will come from Honda of America Racing, the Team Acura boys, Pete Halsma and John Schmidt.
And the pole for ST2 is the team of Bill Fenton Motorsports and their Acura Integra.
Now we get back into the interesting stuff, and all the way from 44 back to 54. And as Guy mentioned, 11 cars, 11 teams that failed to declare their driver, and it is very, very costly, particularly for the 3 Doncaster Racing Porsches, 44, 45 and 46. That's where they will start from. And some mechanical problems are plaguing the brand new Mini Cooper S. Tony Nuzzo and Shane Lewis. We hope that they will be able to make this race start. Well, Jack Baldwin, it's a beautiful day. It's a perfect day to go racing. Talk us around the Daytona International Speedway.
Absolutely perfect day, this beautiful historic speedway. No real changes, 33-degree high-speed banking, but right on the back straightaway, got a change. It's the old, what we used to call the bus stop, is now more of a true classic chicane. And now, when you enter the car, when you enter with the car, you turn back and get back on the back straightaway, getting into turn 3 and getting back to the start and finish line with much more speed.
Well, very pleased to say that the number 20 Mini Cooper S, there's Tony Nuzzo behind the wheel. Boy, they had some frantic times just moments ago behind the pit wall, trying to get this little gem of a car started. It is now rolling, and Tony will join the sister car, the number 21 Mini Cooper S, in the Daytona 250. Now, we've got other onboards for you here. This is the number 0 Lexus with Andy Lally behind the wheel and Chuck Goldsborough, the team owner. The mighty Lexus team, all 3 of them in this field again, and Andy Lally, a very experienced driver. We've got varying shots. This is not the only onboard camera shot. And there is Ian James. He won the last race of the season in the ST1 class in 2002. Can he start the 03 season in the best possible way? We will find out. He's looking forward to it. He's got a new co-driver as well in Troy Hansen. But we are set to go green. Brent Martini and Michael Levitas on the front row. The Fox Hill Racing Porsche behind with Andrew Davis. He's got a busy weekend this weekend. The pace car pulls off. We are set to go green. The Daytona 250. The first race of the 2003 season is underway, and our poleman Brent Martini gets away to a great start in the 81 G&W Porsche. Down into turn 1. It's a long race, and as expected, Jack, they're taking it fairly gingerly into turn 1.
Nice clean start. Everybody in there nice and easy, getting lined up. The boys up front know that the guys that they really have to race against are way back in the back, so no mistakes right now. They just want to get out and set sail.
And as Jack mentioned, keep in mind those 11 cars, most of them the fast cars in this field from the GS1 category, the Grand Sport 1 category. They will be trying to find their way through this packed field. Some 55 cars starting this one, but look at it up front, it's a Porsche party. They're sailing away, and Brent Martini, he'll hand over to Kurt Wagner a little later in this race. The G&W Porsche's got away to a beautiful start from Michael Levitas, and then Andrew Davis. He'll hand over to Michael Corley, and we've got a spinner. Someone has been turned around already on this opening lap. Let's hope they can
everybody
stay
get by
clean.
with that.
Yeah,
hopefully nobody hits him. Boy, look at this. Can you believe how these guys are? I mean, think about what this guy's thinking. He's sitting there watching these cars just miss him by inches. Oh, and he's got to go to the back. Oh, it took him the whole field to get out of that.
Well, sadly, it's the 23 car, John Littlechild, and it looked like he just got tagged in the right rear, and that was enough to turn him round and upset his first lap, and he is all the way back.
That is terribly frustrating for a driver to have a little spin like that early and have to wait for everybody to go by.
This is the new portion of the circuit that Jack Baldwin was talking you through earlier. They would normally come straight towards where we're watching, where the camera is set up, but they take that harder right, Jack. And overall, it gives them a faster lap time because they get more high speed down into NASCAR 3.
Right now, the emphasis is to get into the corner, get it turned, and get it back out onto the speedway. You make one, you get it your left, you turn it back right, you let the car set, you go back to the throttle.
Here is the 119 car, and the car that was on pole. Robert Julian behind the wheel. His teammate Jean-Francois Dumoulin will pick up and have a look at the speed difference here. Here comes the Porsche.
He's going to be coming hard as he can and gaining as many spots as he can on the speedway, obviously. But when he gets down on the infield, he's going to have to deal with traffic whether he likes it or not. I'm not sure these guys are going to be that kind when the road gets narrow.
Well, Robert Julian is making it pretty clear and simple what his strategy is for this particular race, and starting from 44th. Chris Neville, the other guys, how are they going to play this season opening race?
Well, this is a fresh new year for the Grand Am Cup, and it's an important race, even though it's round one. If you come out of here with a win, that builds a lot of confidence for the team and the driver. However, if you have a mistake, crash the car, you're going to dig yourself a big hole to try and work your way out for points. This is definitely an important race. It's round one, but it's also the foundation for the entire season. Jack, Lee?
Well, there is your race leader, car 81, the GNW Motorsports Porsche GT3 Cup race leader and class leader. But the fast guys are coming. We'll have more on speed right after this. Continues, we look back at Robert Julian in the 119 Porsche. The day didn't start all that well in 44th, but he had no intention of staying there. This was the pass for 6th on Selby Wellman. Then he moved up to try and get past Paul Mears Jr. in the Speed Source Porsche, and finally made that move. That slotted the 119 machine into 5th. Can you believe that? 44th to 5th in a handful of laps. And now we look at live pictures of the 119 machine, and wow, Robert Julian is stopping for no one. He is within 18 seconds of the race leader, and Jack Baldwin, you'd have to say that he stands a good chance of winning this one.
He looks like he's doing a good job of it. And you notice how he waved? He kind of waved to Mears as he went by. He gave that little friendly wave. You notice that?
Well, Guy Hobbs, things are looking good for this team, and what a start from 44th, and they're now running 5th.
They're very happy about it too. Jean-Francois, I'm going to be impressed with Bobby's performance out there.
Yeah, Bobby's doing a great job all weekend. He got the pole here. We just got a little problem. He's doing a great job out there. I think we're going to have a chance to go to the podium, maybe win. It'll be hard with the 81, the speed is going right now, but we'll have a good chance at it, I think.
And that's something you're used to doing here. Back to you, Lee.
Jean-Francois Dumoulin, who is the ST1 2002 Grand Am Cup champion, and he will step behind the wheel of this 119 Porsche. And Bob Julian, his co-driver, has done a stunning job so far. But let's move it right up front. The 81 Porsche of Brent Martini has led from the get-go and is doing a stunning job. He's holding a 6-second margin over Michael Levitas. Levitas will hand over to the well-known Randy Post when they make their change.
Right now, you see, I think the 81 car's picked up the pace a little bit. You know, he got the luxury of resting a little bit, not really resting, but saving his car out there in clean air, not a lot of traffic to deal with. Meanwhile, the 119 car had to get back there and drive the wheels off the car. So now the lap times are showing, you know, the favors to the 81 car.
This is the number 20 Mini with Tony Nuzzo. And boy, it's been a troublesome day for these guys for round one of the 2003 season. The car didn't want to start. The team finally got the machine going. He ended out late, and he's had a real struggle on his hands. Great to see the Mini Cooper S in the Grand Am Cup.
I'll tell you, it is really good to see it. And it's like an adventure. They're having an adventure today. They're just out there running around. The car looks good, sounds good. It's cool.
Well, they're currently running 43rd, and let's say that Tony will certainly agree that today has been somewhat of an adventure. Let's go on board with one of the Team Lexus machines. This is the Zero car, which has Andy Lally behind the wheel, and they've got away to a nice start. Sister car up ahead, and that's with Ian James leading the way in ST1, and these two of the three Lexus are doing a mighty fine job. One of the faster GS1 cars coming through there. That just shows you the speed differential between the categories. But that's what makes Grand Am Cup so great, the diversity of cars, drivers, manufacturers and categories.
And you know, all these cars, you drive them to the limit, and it's a very, very fine line. You know, you drive them too hard, you burn them down. You drive them too hard, you go slow. But you have to drive them fast, and you have to slide. But if you slide too much, you scrub too much speed. So it's really, you drive them with a light touch. It's finesse. It's a great training ground for drivers.
We spoke a few moments ago about Tony Nuzzo in the Mini Cooper S getting into troubles. Let's take a look at it. As he rolls around still in 43rd, but this is where he ran off.
He ran right off. It looks like something happened to the brakes there. He just couldn't get it slowed down and just ran it off. You know, first race, they probably have a few issues, a few problems, you know, pretty normal. Yeah, see him pumping those brakes? See the brake lights right there? He's pumping these brake pedals, and that's usually a sign of a brake problem.
Doesn't look like a happy face you just drew then, Jack. You ride with Tony Nuzzo in the number 20 Mini Cooper S. Wonderful to see this car in the category, and we look forward to seeing lots more of it.
Oh, I think this car will be everybody's favorite, sentimental favorite or whatever.
It already has been as far as the sales worldwide of this vehicle. I mean, it's Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere. It is worldwide, this vehicle, and it's gone over really well.
Yeah, it's a great little car, fun to drive. That's what it's supposed to do.
Well, he's a long way back, but continues to work hard. Meanwhile, Brent Martini leads the way in the Daytona 250. We'll have plenty more of round one of the Grand Am Cup for 2000. Is heating up. Race leader Brent Martini is in. He hands over to Kurt Wagner. Now, at the time of this pit stop, they had a 10-second lead over the 119 car of Robert Julian, and that car was flying. So this is a very, very important first pit stop, perhaps only pit stop, but it may be a bit early, Jack Baldwin, to go the whole distance from now without another stop.
Yeah, they might have to do another full stop and or take a longer stop in the end because of they're going to have to put more fuel in it. Interesting thing, the 119 car did not come in. And will he come in on the next lap? That's the question.
Yeah, he's, I'd say he may come in. The 18 car of Michael Levitas was in. He was handing over to Randy Popes. They've run a very good race so far. And the 81 G&W Motorsports Porsche GT3 Cup. Wow, they are being held. Too many people over the wall. And it was a 10-second penalty. Now, Kurt Wagner brings the 81 Porsche back out of pit lane.
Well, so much for the 10-second lead.
There you go. And we are under yellow because of this. Car 63, the North Shore Racing Porsche, John Sturm, made a very heavy contact with the tyre barrier outside turn one. Here it is. Jack, talk us through.
Well, it looks like he just couldn't get it slowed down. Looks like he couldn't get, the brakes aren't working. I mean, the wheels are still, if you look at the car turning around here, the wheels are still turning. You can see it. And these, see them? They're still turning right there, okay? Whacks it. Hits the wall pretty good.
Oof, it's moved 2-3 concrete barriers as well. That was heavy contact.
Heavy contact.
John is okay. He stepped from the car, waved to the officials, and there you can see the tow truck going to relieve that North Shore Racing Porsche. But look at that. Look how much movement, Jack, in those concrete barriers.
Yeah, look at how much, look at that wall, how it's been turned like that. That wall started out straight. And, but it's supposed, hey, I'll tell you what, that's what that wall is supposed to do. That wall is supposed to move like that.
So that's the reason why we are under caution. We ride now with the Zero Lexus. This is a few moments ago, and it's been an eventful race for this particular car. Team Lexus on a whole is going well. Ian James and Troy Hansen still leading this category, but the Zero car, Andy Lally, he had a bit of a hiccup not so long ago. Charles Goldsborough, the team owner, will take over that car. And here's the replay of Andy Lally's moment earlier.
And there he goes, same thing. Couldn't get it slowed down, straight off, looking at the wall. Oops. I tell you what, you hate it when that happens.
Chris Neville, that was a tough break for those guys.
Yeah, it looked like early on they were really in control of this race, but I did check in with the team, and they said they were deviating from their plan a little bit. They were having to push themselves and be a little bit more aggressive than they wanted, and that's why Andy probably went off. The reason for that, the 0-0 of Pete Halsmer. He was pushing those guys more than they had originally anticipated. They thought they would have control on these big, long straightaways, but Pete is definitely making that little Acura Integra keep up with these Lexus guys. It's early in the race. It's going to come down to tire wear now, probably.
And that's spot on, Chris. That's exactly what we said earlier, that the Honda of America racing team Acura, Pete Halsmer and John Schmidt, they would certainly take the fight to the Lexus team. This is the lead Lexus in ST1, and it's Ian James, the British driver, who leads the way. And a new co-driver, as we've mentioned, Troy Hansen, is standing by to take over this, and they've run a very good race so far. Guy, what have you got for us?
Well, Pete Holden's probably going to stay in the car most of the race, but we talked to him before the race. They had the pole position here at the finale at the end of last year, and they've had some quick qualifying times, but Pete told us they've never had the fastest race lap time, and that concerns him a little bit. And so he's going to, now in the race, obviously you want the fastest race lap time you can, but they've never had it. That could be a little issue for them. Also, just note the second place Mustang, or what was running second place, John Kohler has stepped out of that car, and now taking over the driving skills is Gary Smith.
Car 48 on screen. This is the category leader for ST2, Edward Magna, and is doing a good job. We went down and spoke to a couple of the guys, Bill Fenton and Bob Bede in ST2, didn't we, Jack? And we said, who's going to give you the main competition? What did they say?
They said that it was going to come from the Chevy, which surprised us because it's been a while. It's been a while, but they were pretty confident in saying that. So they were right. They know what's going on.
Yeah, the Chevy Cavalier is running a very strong race in ST2. Let's talk about the category leader in GS2, Chris Neville.
Well, Darren Law has been in control all day. He really pulled that Porsche out to a strong lead over the Audi, about 15 seconds. He had great control, however, then the Audi came in. The team is a little bit unaware of who's in second place right now, but they know he's got more than a 15-second lead. And when he turns this car over, he's turning it over to the 2000 champion for GS2, Mike McCulloch.
Darren Law's had a good strong run early on in this 70-lap race. It is the Daytona 250, taking nothing away from the other competitors. But this is the story of the day. 44th to first. Robert Julian has run a very strong race, but is yet to pit. We will have that stop soon. Here, a crucial pit stop. This is our race leader, the 119 car of Robert Julian and Guy Hobbs. This is very, very important.
It's very important, and it's so far going very smoothly, changing the rear tires. Robert Julian climbs out, Jean-Francois climbs in. Now they're just waiting for the remainder of the fuel to go in. Got those rears changed pretty quickly. Nice fresh tires for him. Jean-Francois is pumped for the second half of this race, as he will take the car out. Again, just waiting for the fuel. Smooth. Now, these guys have raced with each other before, been partners before, so they've had practice at these pit stops together as Jean-Francois pulls out.
And Jack Ball and Jean-Francois Dumoulin said to us earlier today that they knew that they were only ever going to change 2 tyres. They're confident that the front ones could go all the way, just the rears, that was pretty harsh on the rears. We must say too that interesting with this new, all new, and it's a spec tyre for the full field, this new Hoosier tyre in 2003, seems to be getting the thumbs up from the majority of the drivers.
Yeah, it seems to be working well. I mean, I don't see a lot of issues here. The tires are holding up well.
Car 7 on screen, that's the Wilkins and Lacey Porsche, and your new race leader being hassled big time by the 02 Corvette. And soon to take over the wheel of that Corvette, Stu Hayner. He's chomping at the bit to get hold of that car. But car 7, this is another one, just one of the 3 Doncaster Racing Porsche GT3 Cup cars, started all the way back in 45th and now leads, so has been equal to the task of the 119 machine.
Absolutely, and these guys have done a fantastic job of bringing these Porsches down here to racing. And as they race into turn 1, you can see that the speed of that Corvette. He drove it in there hard and took that position. I think at this stage of the game, they might want to let that Corvette go.
And the Corvette has got through the 02 machine of Weinberg and Hayner. They got penalised earlier for passing under the yellow. Now here is the 79 machine of the Fox Hill Racing. Andrew Davis has done a good job. He's doubling up this weekend, Chris, so busy time for Andrew Davis. Meanwhile, team owner Mike Corley gets in.
Yeah, Andrew Davis brought it in, hit his marks just right. Now, Mike McCauley is going to be jumping into the car. These guys are doing a great job. This is the first time they've all worked together. This is a brand new team. Looks right now like this change is going pretty good. And one thing that's a little bit more difficult this year for the drivers is they have to either wear a Hans device or a Hutchins device. Now, that's the new head and neck restraint system. So we are seeing a little bit slower driver changes in some cases when some of the guys haven't worked together before. These guys are still, it looks like he's in the car, but they're having a hard time getting the belts on. We also are seeing a problem up here on the right front wheel. They're having a difficult time getting that right front on. So they finally got it off. It looks like they're trying to get the gun back on this tire to get it tightened up. Then they'll come over, do the left side of the car. And it looks like Mike is just about ready in there, but they've still got the left side of the car to go here. So these guys maybe having a tough time with their first pit stop as a team working together. First race of the year, new team, that's something to see, but they are having a good weekend. They've been running second, third. Hopefully they'll get back out there and get the thing back up front. Back to you guys upstairs.
Speaking of a good strong run, the 81 car has regained its position on the lead lap, and Kurt Wagner did a marvelous job at working his way through on Robert Julian before the 119 car actually came into pit. Look how close this is. Kurt Wagner on the inside, Robert Julian on the middle, and Kurt Wagner was very delicate there but forceful.
But he did a nice job, and I'll tell you, he'd been working on that for a while. Julian did not make it easy for him to get by, and Kurt Wagner just did a nice job. He kept working at him, setting him up, and he started that pass a turn back and finally got by. He's a darn good driver.
This is the car that we've seen lead the majority of the Daytona 250. It is now back up into third, and Kurt Wagner will see this right through to the checkered flag. Wilkins and Lacey lead. Julian and Dumoulin second in the 119 car. The 81 machine up into third. Pit stops happening all over the place. One of the Team Lexus cars coming in. The overall race leader is in. Guy?
Greg Wilkins climbs out of the car. Again, as Chris mentioned, these guys are wearing these Hans devices. Takes a little longer to get out of the car. Strapping up Dave Lacey. And again, they've opted to change the rear wheels on this one. And again, the fuel just takes the time. They're going to be waiting to do that. Little problem with the belts as well at this point. Again, having to deal with those Hans devices. It's the first time they've been mandatory in Grand Am Cup Championship Series. Plug in a radio, and they had some communication problems earlier. They actually wanted him to come in about 2 laps ago, but they couldn't get that crossed over the radio, so they kept waving madly as he went into turn 1. We're close to the pit out and turn 1, and they finally brought the car in and should be running off again any second now.
One of the situations that they're having with these Hans devices is the belts, the shoulder straps have to come up over the Hans device. So when you get in the car with your helmet on, especially if you're wearing a full face helmet, in a lot of cases you can't see your buckle to buckle yourself, and it's hard to tell. You can't tell if your belt is over the top of the Hans device. It has to be, or the Hans won't work.
Vijay Zacharias set to spring into action, and he is part of a very exciting team and a new car. We'll talk more about that soon as the Daytona National Speedway. And let's take a look at it. The number 45 machine, the Firebird of Ted Martin, came to grief, but it wasn't quite as severe as far as the contact we've seen. This one pretty much was. Randy Popst, we're not sure if he was helped by that BMW or it was self-induced, but it certainly created quite a bit of work for the team, and that was hard luck for Randy because they were going well. Then the number 68 Porsche Boxster went in, and that was Ray Janeo, who had just taken over for his stint. The Speed Source Porsche not too badly damaged, and the Boxster was able to continue on in the Daytona 250. Back up front, and it's all pretty much of the same. It's the 119 machine of Robert Julian and Jean-Francois Dumoulin leading this field and just doing an outstanding job.
Absolutely outstanding job. What more can you ask for? The preparation of the car, the performance of the drivers and the team, the strategy, you know, coming from the back the way they have, coming from all the way in the back. So, I mean, just a spectacular performance today.
Well, Jack, you mentioned preparation in this 119 car. It's Doncaster Racing that fields the cars and fields the entry, but they have teamed with Fiorano Racing. They actually prep the cars, so it's come together as a very fine combination and it's proving to be so successful. That's the overall race leader and also the GS1 leader. Let's take a look at GS2, the guys who are leading the way there, and the 46 machine, the Michael Bowman Racing Firebird, have done a great job. They've just hung in there. They keep chipping away. Michael Bowman is behind the wheel right now. Michael Shanneman did a good job in the opening stint. This car looks strong.
Oh, it did, and it's just running steady, no mistakes, just running along out there. And that's really what it takes. I mean, you've seen all these cars go into the wall, all these cars slide off the racetrack. That's not the way to get it done.
Chris Neville, one of the cars we saw running well out there earlier was Darren Law in the Porsche in the GS2 class, but they've now dropped to 14. What's the update on them?
Well, Darren Law really did have a commanding lead. He had about a 20-second lead when he brought the car in and turned it over to his teammate. However, when they did do that pit stop, they had a small fuel overflow, and it ran into the front storage area of that Porsche. So they had to pop the lid, mop that up before they could send Mike back out onto the track. So he's got a lot of work for him. Also, another change in the past 15 minutes is we've had a bit of an Atlantic haze roll in that has really just brought the temperature down, probably 15 to 20 degrees. Now, you can look at the track temperature here. It was up close to 100 degrees earlier today. Teams were worried about tires overheating and having to take a little bit easier. It's down now around in the upper 60s, so you might see these teams starting to turn the wick up a little bit more.
I mentioned earlier BJ Zacharias. We saw BJ standing on the pit wall ready to take over this car. It's the first time we've seen this car, Jack Baldwin, in competition. The new Nissan 350Z looks great. It's running reasonably well. It's in GS2. What are your thoughts?
I tell you what, I'm glad to see it out there. It's there's a lot of excitement built around the car. They brought this thing down here to debut at Daytona. I think they're doing a great job. They're running around. Looks like they're going to finish this race. It's a great looking car, isn't it? We're going to see more of these cars in the future, and that's going to be a good thing.
Starting to see more of them on the roads as well. Let's hope we see more on the racetracks. The Daytona 250, it continues. We've still got plenty more action from Florida. Phil Parsons and Ray Dunlap bring you all the action. For a full schedule, just log on, speedtv.com. Well, the Grand Am Cup, the Daytona 250 continues. And doing a very good job in the ST1 class and doing well for Honda of America Racing, the Team Acura. It's a beautifully presented car, and it's doing a fine job at the moment. John Schmidt behind the wheel, Jack Baldwin, and going well.
They've both done a nice job. They just got out there and just kept going around and around and around. You know, didn't have any problems, didn't run off, hit the guardrails, haven't been in the pits but once. That's how you do it.
From ST1 back to ST2, and wow, we can't say enough about this Chevy Cavalier, and congratulations to Ed Magner and Caroline Wright. Great combination, good car, and they've really taken the fight up to the pole sitters for that category. Bill Fenton, Bob Bede, they knew it was going to be a tough fight, but this car is coming out on top at the moment. Yeah,
and you know, Karen's in the car doing a great job. So she's bringing the car in. I mean, right now they're still leading the race. And once again, a good job from that team. And it's nice to see a Chevrolet back in there. Z24.
You may have noticed on that update that Will Nonamaker, the hood there is a little bit loose on that car. You may have noticed that Will Nonamaker was running third in that class, and there's been a bit of a separation there as far as the Nonamaker family is concerned, with Will going off with a new driving partner and his brother Wayne teaming up with Dad Joe.
Well, they also do a nice job with their website, the race site, which is a real nice place. A lot of good information there on racing. They do a good job on the website.
Well, look, it's a big step up for them. They've moved up to the GS2 category in the Porsche. Currently running second in that behind Shanneman and Bowman. So here they are, the Nonamakers, Joe and Wayne, father and son combination, and you can see they're ahead of drivers like Terry Borchella, and they're doing a good job.
Well, they're just running along. You know, they got an interesting looking car. Don't you think? They got the Earth on the car. You know, planet Earth. Nice deal. Right now, you know, the temperatures changed. The fog's we started the show. Nice and sunny, beautiful day. Now the fog's rolled in. They're having right now it's fun to drive. Lots of grip. A lot more grip than there was before.
Well, the 00 car, the ST1 leader, John Schmidt and Pete Halsma, they've just come in for a splash and go. We are just over 10 laps remaining in the Daytona 250, the season opening round of the Grand Am Cup Series. 11 rounds in total in 2003. You can see the majority of them right here on Speed Channel. And this is an exciting time because they are really coming in. Guy Hobbs, there must be a bit of activity happening down there.
Actually, in that case of the 00, it was a chance for Pete Halsma to hand over the driving duties to John Smith. But there is concern about fuel, particularly with the leader, car number 119, Doncaster Racing. I just spoke to Robert Julian. I said, can you make it all the way? He said, it's very edgy. We're right on the bubble. And about the 7 car, the sister car, they think the 7 car can go all the way, no problem. They're questioning the whole problem about who gets the lead. He says, well, at least it's my teammates that get the lead. So interesting little stories going on here with fuel.
Well, 1-2 for Doncaster Racing at the moment, if they can hang on to it, which they very well should, because they're the only one to have completed 59 laps. The Julian Dumoulin combination very successful. It would be the 5th win for Doncaster Racing. They had 4 last year, a very successful year for them, and things are getting off the right foot in 2003. Your race-leading car, Jean-Francois Dumoulin, the Canadian, at the wheel and charging hard. This is the Daytona winning car from last year at this particular round for GS1, and the off-season is officially over, and that also means Speed News is back every Saturday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. All the news and highlights from every corner of the world of motorsports. Speed News, weekends at 7 Eastern. The 119 car continues to go from strength to strength. Now some 66 laps in the book of this 70-lap race. They've done a stunning job. They've moved from 44th to 1st. They have held steady there for the majority of the race. It was some great driving early on by Robert Julian. Jean-Francois Dumoulin is in the car right now, and it is the greatest improvement in position for a winner in Grand Am Cup Series history. Someday for those guys, Jack Baldwin.
Boy, I tell you what, I don't know how you can make it any better. They've done a great job. They've got a few more laps to go here. And the big problem is fuel. Believe me, that guy driving that car right now, he is trying to save every bit of it. Short shifting, braking, letting it roll through, squeezing back in the throttle. He wants to get there. Right now, any kind of stop at all is going to take the lead away from him, give it to his teammate, which is also doing the same thing. And that's why he's sort of maintaining the lead, the split. He's got about a 44, 45-second lead right now. And if everything holds the way they're hoping it to, then they're going to have a 1-2 finish. Fantastic.
Sister car number 7 is sitting in second and take nothing away from Dave Lacey and Greg Wilkins. They started 45th and have moved to second, so they've done exactly what Julian and Dumoulin have done. They've made up almost as much ground, or as far as positions, they've done exactly the same, but they're not in the lead position. The Doncaster cars have done very well. I can tell you that there's a great little battle going on behind the Wilkins-Lacey portion. That's between David Haskell and Sylvain Tremblay. Now, Sylvain Tremblay is in 4th at the moment as the 7 car squeezes through on the inside of Randy Popes, but not quite. And Randy may have been up there in amongst them, battling for a podium position if it weren't for that crash, and we don't know if he was helped or not. At the moment, Randy sits back in 8th position. That battle for 4th, Haskell and Tremblay, that continues on. Guy, what do you have for us?
Well, I'm just hanging out at the Doncaster Racing team, and about 4 laps ago there was a bit of a panic and a lot of studying the computer and stopwatches, but now everything seems pretty cool and collected. Just a bit of pacing going on in the back of the pit areas. They get nervous for the last 4 or 5 laps.
They've done a stunning job today. Just, on that statistical piece too, it could be the greatest improvement for a winner at Daytona International Speedway in the history of this venue. The previous record was Chad Little, who came from 41st to 2nd in the 1995 series for NASCAR Busch, the NASCAR Busch 300. So a little bit of history today by this car, the 119 car for Doncaster Racing.
And they've just got to go a few more laps here. And I mean, this is when you do get nervous. I mean, in all the excitement and all the feeling of accomplishment, you haven't accomplished it yet. Anything can happen. And I'll tell you, you think you're nervous at the beginning of the race? It's nothing like the end.
Well, as they continue to go from strength to strength, the Nonamaker boys are doing pretty well as well. Joe, and late to the end of the Daytona 250. Thanks for joining us on Speed. This is round 1 of the Grand Am Cup, and this is a great battle between the 2 Speed Source Porsches. This is for the final step on the podium. At the moment, David Haskell in the 66 car, the front car there, a little bit of damage on the front of that. He leads this personal individual battle. And Sylvain Tremblay, the 2001 GS2 champion, is really chasing him hard, Jack Baldwin, and he's made a couple of desperate moves over the last little while and hasn't paid off.
Well, he keeps setting him up. He keeps running in there and trying to get the run going. The last lap, he got the run. He got the run down to the tri-oval into 1, but he made it on the inside. You got to do your braking hard with your wheel in a straight line on a Porsche, and he couldn't pull it off without spinning the car high, so he had to pull it back in, give up the pass that he just pulled off. He's going to try it again right here. He starts the run at the chicane.
Our race leader is on the way home. Jean-Francois has done a good job since stepping behind the wheel of this car after his co-driver Robert Julian did some really heavy, fast and forceful driving early on. This race was up for grabs as far as a new winner. Scott Maxwell and David Empringham, of course, their duties for the Rolex 24-hour. That took their attention this year, so we will have a new set of winners in 2003. This is in fact the car that Maxwell and Empringham drove to victory in the GS1 class and the overall victory last year, and it's going to do it again. What a race from these guys, 44th to 1st.
Just amazing, and you know, you gotta feel good for all the guys that have worked so hard over the winter to get this car prepared again and bring it back down here and really, you know, start where they left off.
The infield section has been completed. Jean-Francois Dumoulin is heading down the back stretch with only the chicane, the revised chicane over the back there, the old bus stop section. Here he comes, and great strategy as far as fuel, some good forceful driving early on. They've stayed out of trouble. They said right before the race that they were going to be up there. They felt they still had a good chance, despite that qualifying hiccup where some paperwork denied them starting from pole position. And they're coming through NASCAR 3, NASCAR 4. The checkered flag is out, and maximum points in round 1, the Daytona 250 Grand Am Cup for 2003 goes to Robert Julian and Jean-Francois Dumoulin. They take maximum points, the GS1 class, an overall victory. It's the Doncaster Porsche racing team. Very satisfied with that. Fiorano Racing, who prepped the car, they will be very, very satisfied. We go back to the GS2 class leader, and it is the Nonamakers. Can you believe this will be the 14th victory for Wayne Nonamaker? Nobody in Grand Am Cup history has any more than that. He will win the GS2 class with his father Joe. Well done to the Nonamakers. Good, strong driving there. And Joe Nonamaker is just overjoyed with that. Their first race in GS2. And a great effort there. Here is our ST1 class leader, the Acura of Pete Halsma and John Schmidt. This Acura RSX S really took the fight up to the Lexus IS300s and has done one better. Leading the way, and for Pete and John, this is the perfect way to start the 2003 season.
They did a nice job today. I mean, all did a good, clean job. You know, stayed out of trouble. Just, you know, Pete was telling me before the race started that the 100 pounds that they put on him over the winter was going to hurt him a little bit, but you know, it didn't hurt him enough to keep him out of victory circle, did it?
Not at all. Porsche takes out GS1. Porsche takes out GS2. It is the Acura RSX that wins ST1. And the 48 car, the Chevy Cavalier, has done a tremendous job. Ed Magna, Caroline Wright, here they are. The 48 car will take the honors for the Sport Touring 2 class. Well done to all of our winners. A stunning...
Obviously, my teammate did all the job. He brought the car first place. I just had to jump in it and keep it there. It was amazing. The team, Doncaster Racing, Fiorano, and Coulter, they did an amazing job out there. It was a lot of fun. Great weekend.
Was there any concern? I asked you earlier, Robert, the fuel. Obviously, with about 5 laps ago, you guys figured you were safe.
Yeah, I think we were safe on fuel. We ended up pretty much half and half, but just down to the wire. The car just made it.
All right, congratulations. Great job. This car comes back to victory lane here at Daytona. Back to you, Lee.
That combination of Doncaster and Fiorano Racing was very successful today. And following home those two Doncaster cars, Mears and Haskell, and I can tell you that David Haskell did hold Sylvain Tremblay at bay for that final step on the podium, but a great battle between the two Speed Source Porsches. Back in 5th and the first of the Corvettes, Wang and Hall had a good strong run today. Felt a little sorry for Brent Martini and Court Wagner. They were very strong early on. Some hiccups throughout the race prevented them from being a little higher up the order. Powell and Goad finished in 7th. And a very successful run as far as speed, Jack Baldwin, for Dave Murray. He did set a new lap record, but they couldn't get any higher than 8th.
Well, late in the race, yeah, he was able to lay one down, and my good friend David Murray and my fellow Porsche driving experience instructor put a record in the books for Daytona.
Levitas and Popes finishing in 9th, and the new team of Davis and Mike Corley rounding out the top 10. So not a bad effort, first time out for those guys in GS1. But let's talk about GS2, because it was a very successful day for the boys from Ohio, the father and son combination of Joe and Wayne Nonamaker. Let's hear from them now.
Well, I'm here with the father-son team, the Nonamakers. Joe, what a great day. You guys stepped up to the GS2 class. Looked like you picked a pretty good teammate too.
Yeah, this is really great. To have Wayne as my co-driver is just fantastic. It doesn't get any better than this. We stepped up, and this is a Nonamaker win. You know, and we didn't back into this one. This was an honest to God on the track. It was a great race, clean race, and thankfully a safe race for everybody. But having Wayne as my co-driver has just been fantastic.
Wayne, now you have the most wins in Grand Am Cup. How does that feel?
It's a great. The only thing that could have made this win better is if we could have Will here with us, or my brother. But it is a fantastic race, and the crew did an excellent job at the pit stop. So,
congratulations.
Thank you.
Chance for this Acura up against those Lexi. Great battle all day long, and then able to come through and get the victory.
Yeah, Pete did a wonderful job in there. I told these guys they could put a monkey in there and do the rest of the work, and they said they did, so a big monkey.
The Honda of America racing team brings the Acura RSX back home in first place. Chris?
Oh, I'm here with Caroline, right? Caroline, you won today. This is your first professional win.
Yes, indeed, and it's also the first road racing win for the new Chevrolet Cavalier and the first win for Extreme Lens. So we are extremely happy about all of this, no doubt.
Congratulations.
Well, some very happy and satisfied people there, Jack Baldwin. They've got the 2003 racing season off on the right foot.
Oh, it looks like they do, and Doncaster has picked up just where they left off and have served notice. But I'll tell you, if it wasn't for all the penalties and starting in the back, you know, this thing would have been even more exciting. So we're looking forward to the rest of the season.
Great opening round. We saw some new cars, some new drivers, some new driver combinations, some new teams. Final thoughts?
Absolutely, and I think that the quality of the competition, the preparation that goes into the series speaks for itself. All the different makes, the manufacturers, I think there's more to come. This is a great series, and glad to be a part of it.
It's all about grabbing points and grabbing maximum points, and we've just heard from our 4 various winning combinations from the Ford categories. It certainly was a good day at Daytona International Speedway. On behalf of Chris Neville, Guy Hobbs, and Jack Baldwin, I'm Lee Diffie. We look forward to you